everybody. Welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. Today's topic is he a narcissist or worse? Okay, we have a letter. So let's dive right into this letter and see what she says. I honestly don't know what kind of man I'm dealing with anymore. I feel confused, exhausted, and sometimes scared. But I also still care about him. And that's what makes it hard. When we first met, he was magnetic. He said he'd never felt a connection like ours. He studied me, what I liked, what I didn't, and used that to make me feel safe. I remember thinking, I hit the jackpot, but it didn't last. Now he criticizes almost everything I do. How I talk, how I dress, how I react. If I express hurt, he either shuts down or mocks me. It's always my fault, even when he's clearly in the wrong. He cheated, lied, and gaslit me into believing I imagined things. He's been doing all of this. Wow, he's got you on a roller coaster for sure. I've caught him in lies with proof, and he still somehow convinces me I misunderstood. That's called gaslighting. Our narcissists are good for that. He has this way of turning on the charm when he wants something from me or from other people. He can be loving one moment, then completely cold the next. It's like a switch, because with him being nice and charming, that's the act. When he turns off and he's that cold, cruel being, that's really him. See that nice person? That's not him. He's putting on a show. He's putting on an act to get what he wants. He doesn't seem to feel guilt. He doesn't. He says things that are cruel, but his face doesn't match the words. No emotion, no remorse. He controls more than I realize. My time, my choices, and even my feelings. I feel like I'm shrinking. My self-esteem has taken such a hit that I question my own memory. He's never hit me, but the emotional damage runs deep. And yet when he wants to, he can be so sweet. But see, that's what they do, They hurt you a lot, but then they'll come back and do something sweet for you. And somehow, women, we would grasp on to that little sweet spot and take all the abuse over again until that little sweetness comes back. Because it's a funny thing, when you're involved with these people, you're still waiting for that first person that you met to come back. You feel like he's in there somewhere, and you just keep waiting for him to come back. So that's what keeps you going, okay? When he wants to, he can be so sweet. He'll cry, say he loves me, make promises, but it never lasts. Part of me wonders if he even knows how to love anyone, or if this is just who he is. Well, whether he's a narcissist, a sociopath, or a psychopath, these are demonic energies in control. Okay? And, it's like with each label, the energy is worse. Okay? The narcissist being an evil being, the sociopath is a little bit more evil, and the psychopath is all the way. Okay? All right. I don't want to diagnose him, but I do need help in understanding what kind of behavior this is so I can decide what to do next. Okay, if he is a narcissist, all right, he's followed these patterns. Okay, in the beginning, you were love bombed. All right, and what that means is whatever he could afford, he showered you with it. You know, flowers, candy, taking you out, trips, whatever he could afford, he showered you with it. And if he didn't have money, he showered you with attention and love and, being there and all of that. That's love bombing. Now, then he showed you a lack of empathy. You may be hurting about something, and he's not going to be the one to come over and put his arms around you to make sure you're okay or anything like that. Because these demonic people don't care. In fact, they like to see you hurting. They find joy in that. So they're not going to be empathetic about your pain. Okay? Now, the next thing is blame shifting. Just like some of the things you talked about in your letter. What they will do is, if you catch them doing something they shouldn't be doing, instead of them taking the blame for it and saying, well, I'm sorry, or you're never going to hear that. What they would do is shift it around to make you feel like it was your fault that it happened. So that they shift the blame on you. They never take responsibility for anything. And they always make it your fault. Okay? Now, the gaslighting. That was another thing that you talked about in your letter. Gaslighting, it makes you question your own memory and your own reality, because you'll say, why did you say that? And then the narcissist will say, I never said that. And you know good and well that you heard him say that. And he will never, ever come back and say, well, yeah, I said it. No. Before he's finished, you'll be thinking, maybe I said it. You understand? They know how to spin that web. Now, and they will show you manipulative behavior. And you also talked about it in your letter, where he's hot, he's cold. He'll be cruel to you, hurt you, and then do something nice and try to be sweet to you. You understand? That's manipulative behavior. And that's what the narcissist, classic signs of a narcissist. Now, the narcissist himself, he craves attention, praise, and admiration. Even if he's not done anything, he needs that attention all the time. A very needy person. And he needs for you to be praising him about being alive, if nothing else. Just be happy that he even showed up. That's the narcissist. He thinks he's superior, special. So that's why he doesn't mind hurting you, because, you're an underlink, no matter what. And if you are visibly better than him and he's not at your level at all, he feels intimidated and he secretly hates you, and he will seek to destroy you because of it. Okay? Now, the other thing, the narcissist is easily offended. Now, he will criticize you until you will be in tears. But if you say the very least about him, he will seek revenge. They cannot take criticism. and they will hold a grudge, but you won't know it because they are planning on stabbing you in the back when you least expect it. You see, these are demonic energies, you know? So you never know when they're going to come at you. Okay, now, the danger level of being with a narcissist is they are emotionally damaging, but usually not physically violent. All right, that's the narcissist. Now, let's move on to the sociopath. Now, remember here, this is all spiritual. Now, remember, the narcissist is created from trauma. That's the narcissist. The sociopath, again, is created from trauma. The sociopath, many times, they have mentors. They may have some folks that they follow and they want to be like them. And many of these sociopaths are violent. And they are created from childhood, that kind of thing. And the psychopath is actually born. The psychopath brings the demon into this life with him. Okay? All right, here we go. Now, the sociopath, that's who we're looking at. Now, they are impulsive and reckless. They can be aggressive or violent. They blame others for their actions. So whatever, I'm only doing this because it's your fault I'm doing this. You get some men that will do that. They will hurt you. You see, they'll hurt you physically and then say, now you see what you made me do? That sounds like a sociopath. Okay? Sociopath. They lie and manipulate for personal gain. They form bonds for personal convenience. Well, the narcissist does that too. The bonds are just for convenience. The narcissist, they need supply. That's how that demon survives, off of supply, energy. Now, let's go with the psychopath. All right, he's the big dog of all of this. The psychopath is cold, calculating, and without a conscience. So if you see people who can look at blood, death, all kind of gore, and it doesn't faze them one way or the other, that's a trait of a psychopath. Because they do not feel emotion. They have no emotion. But they can be charming, but it's fake and manipulative. They have no empathy, remorse, or guilt. And you see, that's why these psychopaths can go out and kill people and pass a polygraph because they don't feel any guilt, nothing to register. It doesn't mean anything to them. Very controlling and calculating. But they may hold steady jobs and appear normal. That's tricky. And, that's scary. That you could be working right next to a psychopath. I know, we see stories all the time, or, we read stories where the psychopath, had a regular job, went and people on the job liked him and everything. But as a hobby, this psychopath liked to kill people. Nobody ever knew. They show no signs that they can go to the extreme. Now, the sociopath can be violent. You see, the sociopath that want to beat you up and all of that. They do have a little emotion, but they only can cough up a little emotion in some cases. In some cases. Okay? The psychopath uses people like objects. That's because there's no care there. None. So he's just, manipulating people for his own gain. No true emotional connection. Acts are purely strategic. His relationships are shallow and transactional. The danger level with a psychopath is highly dangerous. Can commit crimes without blinking. That's your psychopath. Now, based on the letter, I believe that your partner is a narcissist. The narcissist can be emotionally abusive, but when someone is manipulative, cold, and shows zero remorse, even when they harm others, they may be drifting into sociopathic territory. It sounds like he is a narcissist for sure. And the narcissist can be just as dangerous to you as the others. The narcissist may not get physically violent with you because they are more emotionally abusive. The sociopath is the one who wants to fight. And the psychopath, he'll just kill you. Okay? So that you want to know before that. And I've given you some signs how you can tell if he's a narcissist. And in any regard, if you are in a relationship with any of these type of people, you really need to start working on getting away from them. You cannot change any of them. These people are possessed with demonic spirits, and they are out to destroy it. So your best bet is to guard yourself, take care of yourself, love yourself, and shield yourself from these negative people. I hope you understand the message today, and I really hope that it helps someone. Now, those of you who may have a question that you'd like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. I want to thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you for your comments and your letters. And a very special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best. And I really hope to see you next time.